Okay.
Sorry. Hi everybody. Today we are going to have a lesson on critical thinking skills. Let me ask you, I've heard in China when you're educated, usually you try to memorize a lot of facts, but you don't always learn how to use the facts and solve problems. Would you say, is that true or not true?
Yeah, true.
Probably.
Probably true. So have you heard of this phrase, critical thinking skills? I think it's very common in American education. Do you hear this in your classes, or do teachers talk about critical thinking and problem solving?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhat. Okay, let's just say on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 means you are excellent at critical thinking. 10 means you are excellent. 1 means you're really bad. Where would you rate yourself? 10 really good, or 1 really bad, or somewhere in between?
6.
6, 5, 7,
5.5.
5.5, 5,
7.
7. Okay, so you think you're all in the middle. That's great. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to look at a section of critical thinking called the scientific method. So if you think about it, critical thinking is a very big area. The scientific method is one small piece. Okay, so we're just going to look at a small piece today. Our purpose is to use facts to solve problems. So we're not just going to memorize. We're going to find some facts and then we're going to use them in a way that will benefit you and hopefully benefit other people. So we have 4 steps to the scientific method: observation, interpretation, conclusion, and application. First, we want to ask ourselves, what do I see? What are the facts? Then we want to ask, what possibilities can explain what I see? Then we want to ask, what caused what I saw? So this one, interpretation, we want to think of many possibilities. Make an educated guess. So use the knowledge you have to think about the facts and make a guess about what they mean. Then our conclusion is, what caused what I saw? What is the problem? So there we will just narrow it down to 1. That will just be 1 only. And then application. How can the problem be solved and what can I do? So we have a guest. Rena, can you come forward? Let's just imagine we're in a doctor's office. I'm going to show you how to use these skills. Doctors have to do this every day. So let's pretend I'm Dr. Hannah. This is my patient, Rena. Here she comes. Hello, ma'am, how are you?
No, not bad. Bad.
Bad? Okay. So can you come a little closer? Let me look at you. Let's see, are you coughing?
Yes, all the time.
Yes, and any other problems you're having?
Runny nose, headache.
Runny nose, headache, anything else?
Fever.
Fever?
Yes.
What about, have you vomited?
A little bit.
A little bit? How many times?
2 or 3. I couldn't remember.
2 or 3. Okay, so right there I was observing Rena. So what did we see? What are the facts about Rena? Okay, she has a
Runny
fever,
nose.
runny nose, headache. What else? Coughing.
Vomit.
She was vomiting?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that's our first step, interpretation. Our first step, observation. That's observation. Number 2 is interpretation. Now, as a doctor, I have some medical knowledge, right? I went to school. So I'm going to ask, what possibilities can explain these symptoms? By the way, a symptom is when you have a bad feeling, like cough, fever. Those are all symptoms of something. They're like a sign. So what possibilities can explain what I see? Let's just guess. What do you think can explain why Rena is feeling like that?
She got a cold.
Okay, maybe she got a cold. Anything else?
She moves to a new place.
Okay, maybe she moved to a new place. She got some sort of weird sickness.
Allergic.
Okay, maybe she's allergic to something. Maybe if it was winter time and people were getting the flu, maybe I would guess she has the flu. So that is what we're doing when we're interpreting. We're making interpretations. We are guessing about what those facts mean. So here we can just create many. But for this one, conclusion. Now, we don't have time to do this, but to make a conclusion, we want to determine what is the problem. We want to decide exactly, is it allergies? Is it a cold? What is it? So as a doctor, I would probably do some research. I would do some tests, maybe give her an x-ray, you know, something like that, and I would decide what the problem is. So we can't do that here, but let's decide she has a cold, okay? Rena has a cold. So, application. How can the problem be solved? And what can I do? As a doctor, how can I solve her problem? What can I do?
Take a medicine.
Okay, I can give her some medicine. What else?
Drink more
Some
water.
suggestion like have a quick break or something.
Yeah,
Drink more water.
I could suggest take a break, get some rest, drink some water. What else?
More water.
Yeah, drink more water. Don't go to work. Cover your mouth. Take some medicine. Things like that. So that's application. So this is the basic format of the scientific method, how to use critical skills. Does that make sense? Do you have questions so far? No? Okay, great. Now we are going to practice our skills. I'm going to give you each a sheet with 3 pictures. These pictures, they are all showing a similar problem. Okay, they're all showing a similar problem. They're meant to go together. Okay? So what I want you to do is first, we'll take 1 minute. Make some observations, okay? If you want to write them down, please write them down. Look at what do I see in the pictures? What are the facts? Okay, so these go together, they make a whole picture. So let's think about that. And we will go through these quickly so we can have time to discuss. Okay, so if you can just do it without writing and just think about it, that's okay too, if it's faster. So what do I see? What are the facts of these pictures?
Yeah, very fat.
Okay, who's in these pictures?
Kids.
Kids. And what do you see about these kids? They're obese, okay?
Huge.
They're huge.
Over their age. Like,
Yeah, they're overweight, and for their age, should they be that big? No, they should not. Okay, what about the background of those children? Where do you think they are from?
First kids from China.
Yeah. It's for some of their faces, I would say they could be from China or from another East Asian country. Yeah, so that's what I see, what the facts are. Let's go to interpretation. Okay, now spend a minute and think about what possibilities can explain what you see in the pictures. What can explain why those children are so fat and what has happened to them?
Fast food.
Okay, maybe they're eating too much fast food. Any other guesses?
Genetics.
Okay, maybe genetics. Maybe their parents were very fat. What else?
Metabolic disorder.
Okay, metabolic disorder. That's kind of goes along with genetics.
Yeah.
Okay, so genetics, fast food, anything else?
Exercise.
Okay, a lack of exercise. Maybe they're sitting around. If they were older kids, maybe they're studying a lot and they're not exercising. Any other interpretations?
Eating habit, parents.
Yeah, we said eating habit. What about parents? Could parents play a role here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, what do you think parents, how can they influence their child's weight?
We just spoil them, that they eat too much.
Okay, spoil, what does that mean, Jaipon?
Like, let the kids eat whatever they want.
Okay, so if you spoil a child, it means you give them anything they want. So maybe the child wants a lot of McDonald's or Kentucky Fried Chicken or whatever, and the parent says, okay, you eat whatever you want, it's okay. So these are possible interpretations. Now for our conclusion, normally we would do some research because we don't know exactly what the problem is. But I want you to just take a minute and think about it. Think about what you know of China today, how the economy has developed and changed, what you know about parenting styles, And I want you to pick one, what you think is the conclusion. What is the real problem here? So take a minute, think about it, and then share when you're ready. What do you guys think? Any ideas? Remember, this one will be more specific, and we're sort of cheating a little bit here. Normally, we would find some more facts, gather some more research, but we don't have time for that, so we just have to make a guess. So what's your guess about what the real problem is here?
Probably because they are lack of regular exercise.
I think that's a good guess, the lack of regular exercise. We have this problem too in the US a lot. You see it everywhere. Anyone else have a conclusion?
Food is too delicious.
The food is too good. The kids can't stop eating.
Yeah.
That's a possible conclusion. Any others? Okay, well, I think that's good for conclusion. And finally, application. How can this problem be solved? And think about you also. What can I do? Is there something I should do here? So let's take 1 minute, think about that. Our problem.
Eat healthy food.
Okay, eat healthy food. This is very general. Let's think about, let's imagine our conclusion is that there's a problem with children in China eating too much. If that is our conclusion, what could our application be?
Fast food.
Yeah, so how are you going to tell the people that?
Parents,
schedule.
educate,
Okay.
be healthy, and then less.
So do something to educate the parents, right? What were you going to say?
I think parents can make a schedule for their children.
Okay, parents can make like an eating schedule for their
Yeah.
children, an exercise schedule. So maybe should the governments be involved in some way?
Yeah, school cafeteria. of
Okay.
course, they should provide like healthy food and calculate the calories for the kids. What kind of food is good for them?
Exactly, so who could be involved? Schools, parents, government, who else? Maybe the Ministry of Health,
Community.
the community? That's right, these are all great ideas. Actually, I did some research, we're going to finish up now. I did some research and found some articles, and in the US, you've probably seen, we have a problem with children who are obese, but I found this is also a problem in China because of the growing economy, sometimes because many families just have one child, and the child, gets everything. So I'm going to give you each some articles. You each have 3, and I ordered them. Number 1, I think, is the easiest to read, and number 3 is the hardest. So for homework, what I would like you to do is read these articles and then go through and write down your observation. You can pick one article. You don't need to read all 3. But pick your observations, your interpretations, your conclusions, and your application from the article that you read. I want you to write each step out. And when you do this, you can be more specific because the articles give you some details. So you don't have to make guesses. You can find some facts from the articles. And then maybe next time we can discuss. So the last thing is a little quiz, just to see if you learned. So I'm going to pass out this quiz, and it's just to make sure that you know how to identify each one of these statements with its step, observation, interpretation, conclusion, application, and then give a description here of each of these steps. In your own words, give a definition. So that's it. Thanks.